Hi everyone, it's Tracy from We Craft at Home. Thanks for joining me, and as you've seen by the pictures before this, we are going to make a tunnel card that folds flat for posting. It means you need to use paper rather than card, thick paper so that it stands on its own, but let's get going. So I've I've designed this here just so that I can show you what kind of size I'm thinking about. So this would be a 6x6 card, which means that you can fit 4 on a 12x12, 4 of the papers. It depends how many layers you want. I've put loads in there just to show you can put as many as you want in. So once these fold in, you'll have room to leave space at the top and also put a message if you want to, or you can put your message in the middle, whatever you like, and obviously you can resize it to what you want. So let's get started. So I'm doing this as a Christmas one. We need a square, an octagon, and we need this little slice of circle here. So what we're going to do, let's bring it all over here so it's out the way. First of all, we want that quite small, but anyway, the square is the first one we want. So for the main part of the square, we want that to be 4 3/4, because then what we're going to do, we need the space on the card, like I said, and the card is going to be 5 3/4, so it's going to be a whole inch smaller. If you don't want to do that, then if you do it at 5 1/2, it will fit, but with the additional panels it will take you over the 6x6, so you won't be able to fit 4 on a 12x12 sheet, just so that you know. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is offset outward, and we're going to go 24 because that's almost a 1/4 inch. Bevel, leave as is, there we go. And then we're just going to do that again, like that. Then we're going to take this slice. I actually, with this one, you can see I left the dotted line and just did the outside, so I'm just going to see what it's like if I do both. Now this needs to be at roughly 320, but don't worry too much, because all it's doing is slicing out these bits for when you are sticking it to the back. So don't worry too much, it's not majorly important. Okay, make sure that the shape you're cutting out with is at the front. That's really important. Now I'm just going to see. No, I didn't think so. You have to cut out one at a time. So before we carry on, we're going to duplicate, and you're going to flip it both ways, just so we know we've got another one ready for down the bottom. I'm going to duplicate again actually. So all you're getting is the first slice and the first square, and you subtract. So for this one, we're just going to change it to a score line. Like I've always said, I will use the third line down because it's spaced out and there's less chance of it breaking the paper. Okay, so now always make sure the piece is brought to the front. So the piece and the outside line, and subtract. Bring to the front, and we're going to duplicate that because we're going to need another one for down there. So piece, outside line, subtract. And then this one we just need to turn round. There we go. Make sure this point is on the point of the square. That's all. That's the main part of it. Remember, arrange, bring to the front, and subtract. And that is your main outline. I'm not going to put them together because when we start doing these, we want to subtract them so that we haven't got so many shapes on there. Okay, I am just going to get this out the way. So this now is only 2 pieces, but still we need to layer, duplicate, and bring it over here. Let's put that over there, and then layer, duplicate, and bring it down. If you've only got A4 paper, then obviously you can do 2 at a time. Okay, so then all you've got to do now is the hexagons. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the biggest one. Okay, and then you'll grab all of them and centralize it all so we know it's in the right place. There we go. So we know that one's in the right place, and we just need the next size down. And this is the easy bit here. This is why I love the canvas, because now all we've got to do is offset inward. Now the ones I've done here were at 20, so they're really quite close together. So I'm going to go, I think I'll go 30. 32 sounds too much. Inward, again, still need it as a bevel cut and not a round cut. Okay, there we go, that's a lot better. And then all we're going to do is bring that over, centralize it. We've picked an easy shape here so that all we have to do is centralize it, and then we're going to do the same again. So offset, okay, bring it down to the next one and centralize it. You're centralizing all of the paper, by the way, not just the shape in the middle. And we'll do one more. So offset, okay, bring it over. Look, I can put it up here, and as long as you centralize both ways, so that's center and middle, so it's right in the center, and there we go. So now, just to show you, if we do each one, I'm going to unattach the dotted line because it doesn't like doing anything. So if I subtract, it's going to misbehave, isn't it? There we go. If I subtract, that means now that's all one piece. And then what we'll do is we will group that, because I just want to show you now. So select the box, hold shift and select the hexagon and click subtract. We know they're already on the front, so we haven't got to worry. And then group it together with the score lines. So we'll do that again. Okay, so that's 4 of them, and now what we've got here, if we centralize them all, you should see that they're all together, and then it's just that will be the tunnel. I mean, obviously you can use any shape you like. First of all, you've got all the shapes here. I mean, that's enough as it, you know, you've got the scalloped one, you've got the zigzag one, small and large as well, the one that's a bit sort of rounded, this one comes out a little bit, same with all the rectangles. Then you've got all the funny shapes here, triangle, circles, ellipses, hearts, stars. I would like to try a star one actually. I think that would look really good. And then you've got all these weird shapes, and you can make up things with that. You've also got shapes like the Christmas tree card I've done recently. You could use that, make the outline, and then do the same thing, offset inner, not use the two separate parts because we separated it, but keep it together and use the two inners as the tree going down, or a window. You could, you know, sky's the limit really, isn't it? You can use what you like, but for now I'm going to do that. So you cut that out, whether you want to cut it out in a design paper or you want to just ink it up, whatever you want to do. We now cut all them out separately, obviously not together. So you go back to the 4 like it was. Let's just go back so you can see. So you cut it out like that, and then we will go over to the craft table and put it together, and I'll also do a couple more that I can show you that we've done. Okay, see you over there.
Okay, so a few more things I just need to go over. First of all, I forgot to tell you to turn this inside square to a dotted line because you don't want it cutting out, you want it scoring. So I've put another square over this just to show you how to do it. So it looked like this, and then if I just go on there, all you have to do is go up here and change it. I always use third line down because it doesn't tear as easily, but just change it to that, and I'm going to move it. You can see it's now a dotted line all the way round. So that's all you need to do, is change that square to a dotted line. Apologies for that, that was my fault. And another thing, I'm just going to get rid of them for a second. I was also showing you another way of getting some depth without using pads, so it still folds flat. So the way I done it is, if I untick and we want the height at 1 inch and we want the length at 4, let's do 1/4, and all we're going to do is put some score lines in. Now I'm going to use my X and Y. There we go, bang on the X and Y. And we want a score line on 1, like that. And then if we layer and duplicate, that one needs to go on, well, we'll put it on 2 for now, but we need it halfway as well. So if we look at the X and Y, you can see it's 151. We just need to go back 1, so that's halfway. Make sure that one is right. That needs to go back just 1. Look, it's 201. And the next one needs to go on 3. And then we need one on 4 and 3.5, which I'm going to use again, the X and Y. So go back, see, there it is, 350, and that makes like a spring, which I will show you when I get to the craft table, but I just wanted to show you how easy it was to make. And then if we put them all in a group, you can then extend this down as much as you want if you want it to be longer than 1 inch. So if you want one long one going down the side of a card, for instance, then you can just do that, and it's still going to make the spring, but it'll make a long one, however long, whatever length you want. I've done it as 1 inch, so it's like inch squared pads, but with one of them I think I would have preferred to do long, that's why I'm explaining that, but I'll show you when we get over there. Look, you can also do it like 1/2 inch or whatever whatever size you want to do, you can go up and down. And don't forget to change these to score lines. I nearly done it again, didn't I? So, okay, we'll ungroup. Sorry about that. And then if you hold shift and click on the main square, then all you've got are the score lines. I'm just going to tidy them up by making sure they're all centered. And then I'm going to make them a little bit bigger, change it to score lines. And then I'm just going to hold shift again and add that and make sure now they're all centered again. And there we go, that's a lot tidier. So that's how you do the springs. And then, like I said, if you group it, you can then go up and down any size you want, and the score lines will be there. They move with it. So as long as you're grouped, they'll go up and down with it. So you can go from a small to the full page if you want. And like I said, I'll show you over on the craft table what I mean by using that. I think that's everything. So I'll see you over at the craft table. Okay, so I'm over at the craft room, and before I carry on with the card I was actually doing, I just wanted to show you where I'd done different ones. So I've done the star. I've just got to put a star in the middle for that. For that I used the fold-in piece, and as you can see, it is very shallow, shall I say? So it's not deep at all, and it still folds completely flat. So that there is no, it is definitely okay for posting and things like that, but it doesn't kind of pop out like I was hoping it would. So I don't know if we need to make the flaps on the side bigger. I wasn't sure. I still like the effect. What I'd done, I foiled round the stars. I don't know if it, yeah, it picks up there. There you go. And I foiled all is calm, all is bright as well. So you can see that. Okay, and then this one is I done the Christmas tree. So the actual tree is inside. And I cut some smaller ones. Actually, it's the big tree cut up. So the top of it cut smaller from the leftovers where I decoupaged it there, and just stuck them on the sides as, you know, extra trees on the side. But this one really pops out. But this is the one I was telling you where the hinges, I feel like they should be longer, because it kind of makes it a bit bumpy because it's such a large card, if you can understand. So although I love it, and it does, look, it does fold pretty flat, so the hinges are good. So thanks Sam Calcott for that, because I saw it on her show, like I said. Not her show, her YouTube channel, apologies. But that yeah, so that's the Christmas tree one cut out. I didn't do very well with the layers. They were too narrow. So there is a difference, but it's only a very slight difference. So I would give bigger arrows. So I've got somewhere with this. I've already stuck 3 of the parts together, and I've used longer pieces of the hinge, as you can see, and it's a lot more sturdier. It's a lot sturdier. So I do feel like using the long strips is the best way to go. So anyway, the only trouble with them is that the last piece is too narrow on the sides for long pieces. So I've had to glue together 4 little pieces. And all it is, if that's the wrong one, this is roughly what we were trimming out. So you do 1, I've done this smaller to fit the frame, but you do, I think this was 3/4 of an inch, half inch, 3/4, like that. And then all that happens is that they come round and the small bit on the end attaches to the first bit, so that it closes it off like that. You just glue in that bit together, and then it's one whole length of hinge, and you can cut it. This is what I found easier to do, so it's easier to do a whole page, and then just cut it to the size you want. So these ones I've had to cut small so that I can fit them on like this, and then it's just, you know, gluing. It's as simple as that. So what I'll do first of all is we'll glue these bits on. I don't know what's happened to my pin flare glue. Make sure you do all your pictures round the right way and that it matches everything else there. So I've picked a woodland scene. And then for the card, what I actually want is to also put the biggest hexagon behind, so that you can see the scene. And then I've got all these woodland animals that I was going to do peeking out. Where are these from? I think this one was from the Dawn Bibby collection. You know, I could do some bits up there. There's a tiny bird or owl, so we'll do him flying back there. Squirrel. There's a big one as well. Yeah, so there's a big bird, and we can do him coming out of one of them. There's a lovely big deer there. I thought he could be on the front, or maybe one behind. There's a baby one as well somewhere. There he is. So if we're doing that side, it looks like he's looking behind at the baby, like that. We've also got a fox. So we can do a whole story there. There's so much stuff. You just use what you got. There's pine cones as well. Look at that lovely one, actually. That's nice. I know this is still Christmas. Apologies, it's come out a lot later than I intended. But I thought I'd still do it because I just loved it, to be honest. Couple of cones maybe with some holly. Actually, let's do that bit. It's a little bit bigger. So a couple of cones with some holly. And just all these animals coming out of the layers. I think it looks really good. Anyway, that was my idea, and then you just put the whole thing on the base of a card, and that is it. You don't need the words. Winter Wonderland would go perfect with that. I'd put it on the Christmas tree one, but I think it would go really nice just along there. But I don't think it actually necessarily needs words. I think it looks good anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that. And obviously it's not just for Christmas, you can use them anyhow. I've got a lot of the quirky bird fairies and stories, and I think they'll look beautiful coming, you know, coming up like this with lots of little of the animals and flowers and whatever's there coming up with it. I think they'll make great tunnel cards, so maybe that's my next project. Yeah, I think that's everything, so I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.